let me give you further opportunity and ask you, why were you concerned about the ARB's failure to interview you? And
listening to live audio from Capitol Hill as the hearing
boards
continues over what happened in Benghazi. And again, I just cannot overstress what Eric Nordstrom said this morning. He was the regional security officer in Libya. And he says, look, the two diplomatic posts, one we had in Tripoli, the other we had in Benghazi, did not meet a single one of the criteria that have to be satisfied in order for us to put a diplomatic post there. We got 264 of these around the world. These two, the one in Libya, or the one in Tripoli and the one in Benghazi, were the worst. They had absolutely none of the security requirements that we have got to have by law. According to the 1999 law, we have to have these minimum criteria for security have to be met before we're going to put the American people in harm's way. And Eric Nordstrom said there is one person and one person only that could waive those security requirements and put a compound in an area that had elevated and critical risk, and that would be Hillary Clinton. So, ladies and gentlemen, this is on Hillary Clinton. This is not on this movie maker that's rotting in jail as we speak. This one is on Hillary. Now, this is pretty emotional testimony. Let's play clip A8. This is Eric Nordstrom. And each of the witnesses, we have Eric Nordstrom is one of the men giving testimony. He is the former regional security officer in Libya. Greg Hicks was the former deputy chief of mission in Libya. He was the number 2 guy right under Chris Stevens. He was talking to him during the evening, and Chris Stevens' cell phone went dead at one point, and he never heard from him again. Next thing he heard, he was dead. Dragged, by the way, to a hospital that they discovered was run by Ansar al-Sharia. The hospital was under the control of Ansar al-Sharia. That is the al-Qaeda outfit in Libya. They are an affiliate of al-Qaeda. They are a subdivision of al-Qaeda. And they're the ones that perpetuated this attack. They laid claim to it the night it was happening. The American authorities knew that. Hillary Clinton knew that. Hillary Clinton's talking to, I think, to Gregory Hicks at 2 o'clock in the morning by his own testimony this morning. So Hillary Clinton was up. We don't know where Barack Obama was. He was AWOL. And I tell you, I think the reason that Barack Obama checked out of this deal, remember, he was there at 5 o'clock, just had a regularly scheduled meeting. He gets the word that the compound is under attack, and then he flat out disappears. Why? Because he wants to get as far, it's like a live grenade. I think Barack Obama saw that thing sitting there at that table with Leon Panetta, whoever else he was meeting. He said, this puppy is a live grenade. I'm not going to be the one that gets taken out by the shrapnel. I'm going to get as far away from this thing as I possibly can, and I'm going to let the poor serfs that are working for me, I'm going to let them take the blast from the grenade. And so he got out of there. So Barack Obama is in a position now where he can say, hey, I left them in charge. I thought they were capable people. I thought they were competent people. I thought they had the goods to take care of this thing. I trusted them. So when this thing blows up, he can say, hey, it's all their fault. I trusted them. I thought they were capable. So the fact that they turned out to be totally incompetent, how can you blame me for that? It's all on them. So I think that's where Obama is trying to position himself on this deal. He's trying to shuffle all of the blame off on State Department and Hillary Clinton. And then Mark Thompson is the third guy. He is the acting deputy assistant secretary for counterterrorism. So he's in charge of the group that Hillary Clinton tried to cut completely out of the deal the night the attack went down. The counterterrorism people said, we were never consulted. She tried to keep us out of the loop. We weren't included. We weren't involved. We were not consulted. And this is the counterterrorism unit, the people that we have assigned the task of responding to terrorist threats. And Hillary Clinton kept them completely out of the loop. Well, here is Eric Nordstrom. Here's an excerpt from his opening statement, and you will sense how emotional he got. In fact, do we have A7, Jeff? Can we play that? I want to set the stage for these next two sound bites by listening to Hillary Clinton. And I mean, this is one of the most callous, unfeeling things I've ever heard anybody say, frankly. And part of what makes this particularly callous is that if you listen to Hillary Clinton in this, this is just a couple of months ago when she's given testimony on Capitol Hill. So this is way after September 11. This is way after we know exactly what went down. This is way after we know this is Al-Qaeda. And again, you know, Barack Obama, he's telling everybody in the debates, Al-Qaeda's on the run, telling everybody in campaign speeches and commercials, Al-Qaeda's on the run, we got them licked. So he cannot afford to admit that this was an Al-Qaeda operation because he's been telling everybody, hey, we got them licked. They got their tail between their legs. We've got them defeated. We got them on the run. Look at me. And then you find out that Al-Qaeda was behind this. It makes him look bad. Now, Hillary Clinton, even in what she said, when you listen to this, I want you to listen. She specifically avoids even the possibility that terrorism, Islamic terrorism, might have had anything to do with it. She doesn't even mention the possibility that Al-Qaeda might have been behind this, and this is months after everybody in America knows the truth. Let's listen.
What difference at this point does it make?
At this point, what difference does it make? And she talked about the fact it doesn't matter whether it was people out for a walk. It doesn't matter whether some kind of protest. Those are the only two options that she mentioned in those comments. It could have been a protest over the movie. She's still talking about that. She's still trying to spin that explanation, some kind of protest gone bad over some video. Or it could be just some people out for a walk decided to shoot some Americans. It's like she wants us to believe that everybody in Libya just walks around, takes their dog for a walk with shoulder-fired rocket launchers, AK-47s, and grenades. And they suddenly decided we're just going to shoot some innocent Americans and attack a compound. Here's the full context of what Hillary Clinton had to say in those comments. I want to play this again for you, the full audio bite, and then it'll set the stage for the next two. Let's listen.
We were misled that there were supposedly protests and then something sprang out of that, an assault sprang out of that. And that was easily ascertained that was not the fact.
But
and the American people could have known that within days, and they didn't know that.
With all due respect, the fact is we had 4 dead Americans. Was it because of a protest, or was it because of guys out for a walk one night who decided they'd go kill some Americans? What difference at this point does it make? It is our job to figure out what happened and do everything we can to prevent it from ever happening again, Senator.
So she says at this point, what difference does it make? Now I want you to listen to Eric Nordstrom, his opening comments, because he will tell you what difference it makes. Let's listen.
I want to thank the committee again for the opportunity to appear, provide further testimony in support of your inquiry into the tragic events of September 11th, 2012. I would also like to thank the committee for your continued efforts in investigating all the details and all the decisions related to the attack on our diplomatic facility. Specifically, the committee's labors to uncover what happened prior, during, and after the attack matter. It matters to me personally, and it matters to my colleagues, at the Department of State. It matters to the American public for whom we serve. And most importantly, excuse me, it matters to the friends and family of Ambassador Stevens, Sean Smith, Glenn Doherty, and Tyrone Woods, who were murdered on September 11th, 2012.
Now, what you're hearing there is you are hearing the voice of compassion. And he was very deliberate, I believe, in choosing the word matters. It matters. Because Hillary Clinton said, what difference does it make? It doesn't matter. Who cares whether these were guys just out for a stroll with their AK-47s and their shoulder-fired rocket launchers, their rocket-propelled grenades? Who cares? They were just out for a walk with the dog, and then suddenly just got it in their head they're going to launch this spontaneous attack on the compound. Or if it was a movie review gone bad, what difference does it make? What does it matter? And Nordstrom says it matters. It matters to me. It matters to the family of Ambassador Stevens. It matters to the friends and the families of the 4 Americans who died that night. Now, here is Greg Hicks, clip A9, Jeff. Again, this is just audio. This is Greg Hicks, and Hicks was the deputy chief of mission that night, second in command He wound up in charge when he got the message that he's about to talk about right here. Let's listen.
During the night, I'm in touch with Washington, keeping them posted of what's happening in Tripoli and, to the best of my knowledge, what I'm being told in Benghazi. I think at about 2 p.m., 2 a.m., sorry, the Secretary of State Clinton called me, along with her senior staff. We're all on the phone. And she asked me what was going on, and I briefed her on developments. Most of the conversation was about the search for Ambassador Stevens. It was also about what we were going to do with our personnel in Benghazi. And I told her that we would need to evacuate. And that was she said that was the right thing to do. At about 3 a.m., I received a call from the Prime Minister of Libya. I think it's the saddest phone call I've ever had in my life. He told me that Ambassador Stevens had passed away. I immediately telephoned Washington that news.
So that's Ambassador Stevens is dead, and you sense the emotion getting choked up, how somber. That's compassion. Hillary Clinton, what difference does it make? Now, I want to play real quickly the A12 clip, Jeff, if we can. This is Representative Cummings. He's been a hack on a flack for the Obama administration from the moment he is the ranking member of this committee, and Cummings has been trying to cover for the Obama administration and everybody. And you want to hear something callous, listen to Cummings and what he had to say about the death of these 4 innocent Americans just trying to serve their country, left high and dry, stranded by the Secretary of State.
Something that I said very recently, about 2 years ago now, in a eulogy for a relative. I said that death is a part of life.
There's liberal compassion for you. Death is a part of life. 4 guys dead. Hey, it happens. Death is a part of life. That's liberal compassion for you, ladies and gentlemen. Back in 2.